Class, I wanted to provide a video here to help provide a point of emphasis when it comes to your research articles. And before you begin your research article study or reviewing your research articles for week 2, I want to show you some where you find information regarding your study. Okay. I want to point out on an emphasis that you're not going to force your topic. You're not going to force what you're going to discuss in your essay. You're going to let research guide the discussion. I know a lot of you have strong viewpoints on what you want to discuss, but that's not what academic research essays are about. They're about providing what research states on the topic. So please realize that in this point of emphasis. How you find your information from your research article is very important, okay? So you should be able to pull up the full text. If you don't have this on the side, you may want to contact the librarian, okay? Or if you know how to access the article itself, do so, because you want to make sure you get to where you're reading the article itself, okay? So you always want to make sure you can access the research article. Now, in this study, it was done and published in 2016, okay? The researchers are Karina Sella, Miguel Angel Cecilia, and Salvador Sanchez Alonso. They did a study based off this topic in 2016, okay? So we want to find out, what you want to do is you want to use this article to find out what new information they found in the year 2016, okay? You're not worried about what they cited in here back in the day of like maybe 2005 or 2002 or anything like that. We want to find out what these researchers discovered in 2016, okay? So this is a good starting point to read. I would say the abstract, sorry, right here, the abstract. You could read this too if there's one there. But an abstract's really good to read. It's just a summary of what the intention of the research is, what they did for the research, who they researched, and a little bit of the results. Nothing too thorough. Some are a lot longer than this right here. You will not use any information from the introduction, or if there is a theoretical background. All right, theoretical background could also be considered a literature review or a history of what happened, because you noticed how you'll see 1994, 1978, you even come up here and you'll see articles from 2009, 2011. You're not going to use this stuff. This stuff's just telling you a history of the problem based off the topic they're researching. So that's how research is done. Research topics are not just thought up, hey, I want to research this topic out of fun because it's interesting. There has to be what's considered a gap or a hole in research where the researcher can do a study. And where they find that hole or gap is by researching previous articles, okay? They have to prove that there's an issue. So that's what this is right here. You're not going to use this stuff because remember, you're worried about what they found in 2016, what these researchers found in 2016. You're not worried about what they found in the past. So skip. You could read it if you want, but the fast way to do it is to come down to the other sections. Now, the method section is something that you can read too, but basically the method section is telling you what type of study they did. Was it qualitative, quantitative? Was it a survey? Was it semi-structured interviews? And then it's going to tell you who the participants are, okay? You're not going to be worried so much about that. And the data collection, how they collected the data. What you're going to do is you're going to come down to the results section, okay? Because this is what the researchers found in 2016, all right? So if you have an article that's in 2013, when you go to the results section, it's going to tell you what they found, what those researchers found in 2013. And if there was a study done in 2019, you're going to come to the results section to learn what they found in 2019, okay? So this is where you're going to find results, all right? So a lot of times you'll read these things and you'll see diagrams and you'll be like, what is this? Don't worry, sometimes even I don't understand this stuff, okay? Because a lot of it is statistical data analysis. This article here isn't too difficult to understand, but I'm saying most of the time you will see some that will be a little more, statistical numbers, like talking about the chi-square or the standard deviation and stuff like that. You'll also see stuff cited in here too from previous work. You're not going to be concerned with that. Basically, the reason why you see this previous work stuff is because the researcher's saying, hey, this is what we found in 2016 compared to what we found and read in these articles, okay? So that's all they're doing is comparing. Now, I always tell students the best part to go to after you try to read the results, if you can understand the results, that's fine. But you notice here's some of these numbers right here. Here's the alpha and some of these other numbers here that you'll try to find. Centrality, degree of centrality. It's like I said, that's real difficult. Here's some of the tables that show a little bit more of the statistics that really can be really difficult to understand. But when you get to the bottom part right here where it says discussion and conclusions, this is what the researchers in 2016 saying, here's what we found on the numbers, and we're going to actually break it down in just written form. They're going to divulge thoroughly what they found in plain writing so that it breaks it down for the researcher that's reading this or the student that's reading this, okay? So this is a huge part to read right here, and it can be pretty long, and again, you'll also find stuff that's cited too from previous work, but you're not worried about this piece of information, okay? Because this is the researcher saying, this is what we found in 2016, and this is what was found previously in comparison, okay? That's all that's saying, all right? So that's what you want to make sure you do with these articles is find what they found out in 2016. Quick example. So as I'm reading through this paragraph, I notice this part. Position in the network depended in part on learning style, in turn affected academic performance since the grades in the course correlated positively with degree of centrality. So that could be something that I could use. These findings suggest that teachers may be able to improve e-learning outcomes by paying attention to learning characteristics such as learning style. So that's a huge thing that they found in 2016. Notice how there's nothing cited on it, okay? Because these citations are just saying, this is what we found in comparison to 2010 and 2011. Notice how I found something in here in the discussion and conclusion area that I could use and I could state in my research article. I could state in my actual research essay, okay, my academic essay. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for information. Now keep in mind that you're going to find a lot of information in the results section, okay, in the discussion and conclusions. And they might be titled differently, by the way. You'll see a results, but sometimes the discussion and conclusion area isn't necessarily always labeled discussion and conclusion. Most of the time it's just labeled discussion and then another section that might say future research or limitations, because every research article will have something that limits it. And that's a completely different area that you don't have to worry about at this point. But you want to make sure you're finding things. Now, again, when you are reading through this, again, you're going to have a lot of information you're going to use. Just don't do information overload, okay? Just point out some things that helped to explain your topic when you get to your week 2 worksheet, okay? There's no way to discuss everything in a 750 to 1,000 word essay, which is due in week 4, the rough draft, okay? There's no way to write a whole summary in your week 2 worksheet that will fit everything in it. So point out a few things that you want to have a point of reference, emphasis in your research, okay? Keep it simple. Don't try to overload it. Don't try to make it so perfect that you're citing everything, okay? Because you want to just make sure you're pointing out maybe 2 to 3 different things that you found that were interesting in this article to help explain your topic, okay? So, and again, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that this is really long, but that's okay. And then you'll get down to the references here. Now, these references you're not going to use because you're not going to cite anything this researcher cited in here. you're only going to cite these researchers and this year, okay? This reference page is their reference page, not yours, okay? This is them giving credit to the authors that they used and cited to help do their study, okay? So you're not even gonna mess with this at all right? I hope this video helped out quite a bit. I know it's a little over 10 minutes, but these are really helpful to kind of keep and to read through and to go back to and study. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to reply to this post to earn credit. You can write under 100 words, but I want a summary of what you learned and what you're going to and how what part of the research article you're going to use to get information. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.